Welcome you back in geological knowledge. So as we are dealing with the questions related with the physical properties of minerals, and so far we have discussed very important properties like color of the mineral, streak, luster, and hardness. We have discussed only the definition part, and today we will discuss the remaining part of hardness. And yesterday we have also discussed about the definition of hardness. So hardness can be defined as the resistance of a mineral to abrasion or the scratching, means up to what limit a mineral can resist to the abrasion or the scratching property. So that mineral property is known as hardness, and hardness is determined by rubbing a mineral of a known hardness against one of the known hardness. Okay, and a numerical value that is obtained by using the most important scale, that is Mohs scale of hardness. And in this scale we have talked about that there are 10 minerals like talc, gypsum, calcite, fluorite, apatite, orthoclase, quartz, topaz, corundum, diamond. So talc being the softest one and the diamond being the hardest one. Okay, so it doesn't mean that diamond is the hardest mineral ever known. No, in the Mohs scale of hardness, diamond is the hardest mineral, but apart from, or in general, there are some minerals which are harder than diamond. Okay, that's not a part of our discussion. So we will discuss some other questions related to hardness, and the first question deals with the hardness of human nail varies between. So we know that is the hardness of any mineral that can be known by the use of Mohs scale of hardness, but sometime in the absence of the hardness testing minerals, the following materials which I will discuss, they are generally used for the determination of the approximate hardness. That is not the accurate hardness measured by these mediums, but that is an approximate hardness, like fingernail. Okay, the window glass, the knife, pencil knife, a pen knife with scratching. So these two or three mediums which are generally used for the identification or for the uh, testing of the hardness. So if we talk about a fingernail, so it will scratch up to about 2.5, that is not calcite. We know that the hardness of calcite is 3, but the hardness of fingernail, that is 2.5. So it means that is hardness of 2.5 of fingernail means fingernail will scratch gypsum which has a hardness of 2, but it will not scratch calcite which has a hardness of 3, because fingernail has a hardness of 2.3, sorry 2.5. And same is the case with the window glass, that will scratch up to about 5 to, sorry 5. Window glass will scratch up to 5. Okay, so 5 means apatite. Okay, hardness of apatite is 5 and orthoclase is 6, so it means finger, this window glass, this will scratch apatite, but it will not scratch the orthoclase, or better known as feldspar. And the pen knife, that will scratch up to about 6.5. So 6.5 means orthoclase is 6 and quartz is 7, so it means pen knife will scratch orthoclase but it will not scratch quartz. Okay, so these are some relative materials which are generally used for the identification of hardness of mineral in the absence of the hardness testing minerals. So now we come back to our question, that is hardness of a human nail that varies between. So we all know that is 1.5 to 2.5. Okay, so 1.5 is the highest maximum limit. Okay, so it can scratch only gypsum, not the calcite, as we have already discussed. So some common materials have been assigned hardness values according to the Mohs scale of hardness, and that may prove useful in the determination of hardness of an unknown mineral quickly. So hardness of human nail, human fingernail, that varies between 1.5 to 2.5. Okay, so the correct option here is 1.5 to 2.5, option C. Next one is hardness is which kind of property? Isotropic or the anisotropic or the homogeneous or non-homogeneous? So hardness is an anisotropic property. Anisotropic means a mineral which may show different values in different direction. Okay, if the mineral hardness is same in all the direction, so those minerals will be known as isotropic. But if there is differentiation or different values in different direction, so those minerals will be known as anisotropic minerals. So the correct option here is the option B, anisotropic minerals. Next one is how does hardness vary with the decomposition? So there is a effect of decomposition process on the hardness, and the question deals with how it varies. Increase with the decomposition, decrease with the decomposition, doesn't change, or either decrease or increase depending on certain parameters. So hardness that decreases on the decomposition of a mineral due to the atmospheric attack on the surface. So whenever there is a process like weathering, erosion, all these natural processes which act on a particular mineral in the field, so they may decompose a mineral during the atmospheric attack on the surface of the mineral. Okay, so hence it must be checked on unweathered and the unaltered surface. If we are going for the field work, we must understand that is what is weathered, as the differentiation between weathered as well as unweathered material. Okay, so if it's a weathered mineral, so there will be some layers of dust or other some minerals or the algae also sometimes, so that can affect the hardness of the mineral. So we must go for the unweathered section of that mineral or the unaltered surface for the identification of minerals hardness. So the correct option here is option D, that is hardness vary with the decomposition. Okay, it decreases with the decomposition process. So option B is the right answer. Next one is hardness is a relative property. So there is a statement given here, hardness is a relative property, and you have to tell whether it's true or false. So hardness is a relative property if talc has one hardness of 1 and quartz had hardness of 7, so it doesn't indirect sorry it does not indicate quartz is 7 times harder than the talc. Okay, so the correct option here is option B. Next one is the tendency of a crystallized mineral to break along certain directions, yielding more or less smooth surface is known as. The tendency of a crystallized mineral to break along certain directions and yielding more or less planar surfaces. What is that property known as? Tenacity, hardness, cleavage, or the fracture planes. So it's the right answer is cleavage, but we will understand that what is cleavage and what are the types of cleavages. So if a mineral breaks along a flat plane, it is said to possess a cleavage, and if it break with the irregular surface, it's said to show a fracture. So there is a minute difference between cleavage and fracture, and one must understand the minute differences. So cleavage, in cleavage the mineral breaks along a flat plane. Okay, and if it breaks with an irregular surface, so then it will be known as fracture. So thus the cleavage, it can be defined as the tendency of a mineral to break more easily with smoother surfaces along the plane of weak bonding. So the plane where in which there will be weak bonding, so they will be the planes of cleavage. Okay, so hence cleavage is the property which is related to the atmospheric or the atomic arrangement within the minerals. So how the atoms are arranged in a particular mineral, so that will define the cleavage. And because the cleavage is always occur parallel to the possible crystal face, it's designated in terms of the crystal face to which it lies parallel to. Okay, generally the cleavage that always occurs parallel to a possible crystal face. So that's why it's designated in terms of the crystal face to which it lies parallel, such as cubic plane, cubic face, or the octahedral face, or the prismatic face, or the basal face. So that's why it's known as cleavage. Okay, and the same is written here. Cleavage is defined as the tendency of a crystallized mineral to break along certain directions and which yield more or less smoother planar surfaces. In other words, cleavage or the plane easiest fractures and are essentially indicative of the direction of the least cohesion, means the plane of weaknesses, weak bonding planes. So the correct option here is option C. Next one is cleavage is described in terms of number of directions, degree of perfect splitting, degree of cracking, or the degree of perfect splitting and number of directions. So cleavage can be defined as cleavage is described both in terms of the number of directions in which it occurs observed on the mineral and also in terms of the degree of perfect splitting. Okay, and depending upon the ease with which a crystal cleaves and the perfection of the surface oriented, the cleavage is classified as perfect, good, poor, or the indistinct. If there is a perfect cleavage, or the good or poor, or the indistinct, depending on the occurrence of the surfaces. Okay, so the correct option here is cleavage is described in terms of the degree of perfection and perfect splitting as well as the number of directions. So the correct option here is D. Next one is the type of cleavage due to the mineral can be split very easily is known as eminent cleavage, distinct cleavage, basal cleavage, or the cubic cleavage. So in terms of the cleavage is described as eminent, perfect, good, distinct as we have discussed, or indistinct depending on the surface of the mineral on which it's occurring. Indistinct in the order, and in the eminent cleavage the mineral can be split very easily yielding extremely smoother surfaces, and the best example is the mica, where the mica sheets they cleave and they form the very distinct cleavage, eminent cleavage. So the correct option here is option A. Next one is mineral which show parting is which mineral show the parting? Orthoclase, calcite, mica, or the corundum. So parting is a property of mineral by virtue of which it can be split easily along certain secondary planes. Okay, so these are types of certain secondary planes, and best example of parting that can be seen in the corundum. Okay, so corundum is the best example where the cleavage that can be absent. In corundum the cleavage is absent but parting may be very prominent, and that becomes the very distinctive or the very ideal example or the ideal situation for the corundum to be identified wherever in the field. Okay, so the correct option here is option D, corundum. There are statements given here. You have to pick the wrong statement about the fractures. Okay, so we must understand that what is fracture, only then we will be able to understand these terms, sorry, these four statements, and subsequently we will answer the question. So minerals which do not exhibit cleavage break with an irregular surface, as we have discussed when we were discussing about cleavage, that is there is a difference, that is the if the mineral breaks along a irregular surface, so that is known as fracture, and the nature of this broken surface, that is known as fracture plane. And in the case of fracture, the breaking should be in any other direction than the cleavage, and it's very important characteristic property that the a fracture plane or the fracture, the breaking should be in any other direction than the cleavage. So unlike cleavage, the fracture do not produce smooth surfaces. Okay, now we come back to our question, that it's the broken surface of a mineral along the direction of cleavage. Okay, it's the broken surface of a mineral in a direction other than the surface, other than that of the cleavage. In some cases it becomes a characteristic property of a mineral, even and uneven are the example of fractures. So as we have discussed the definition, we have talked about, that is, the breaking should be in any other direction than the cleavage direction, and the option A suggests that it's the broken surface of a mineral along the direction of cleavage. Okay, so the wrong answer here is the wrong statement, that is option A. The appearance of a broken surface of a mineral in a direction other than that of a cleavage is generally expressed by the term fracture, and in some cases fracture becomes a characteristic property of a mineral to identify. Okay, so correct option here is option A. Next one is the term which means rough woody fracture is known as. So there are certain fractures like conchoidal fractures, even fracture, uneven fracture, Heckley fracture, and these are very important for exam point of view, because in the objective type of questions they are generally asked. And but as far as this particular question is concerned, the term which means rough or woody surface fracture planes is known as uneven, conchoidal, splintery, or the Hackley fracture. So when the mineral breaks with a rough woody fracture that result in rough projection at the surface, it's better known as the splintery fracture. And the best example is kyanite. Kyanite shows splintery fracture. Okay, so the correct option here is option C. Next one is the behavior of a mineral towards the forces that tend to destroy it is called as. The behavior of a mineral towards the forces that tend to destroy it is known as hardness, resistance, tenacity, or the crystal degree. Okay, so the behavior of a mineral towards the forces that tend to destroy it, that is known as tenacity. Okay, so tenacity of a mineral denotes the degree or the character of the cohesion. Okay, so the behavior of a mineral towards the forces that tend to break, bend, cut, or crush it described by the term tenacity. Okay, and there are certain classification of tenacity like sectile. Okay, sectile tenacity, malleable, flexible, elastic, brittle, friable, or pulverized or pulverant. Okay, so these are certain classification of tenacity. Okay, so the correct option here is option C, that is tenacity. So this was our discussion about some other questions related to the physical properties of minerals, in which we have talked about the cleavage, their types, the fractures, the tenacity, and the hardness also. Okay, and it's quite important for the exam point of view. Okay, and in the next video we will talk about some other physical properties of minerals. Thank you.